Well, hi. Welcome back for some more Delta Math practice, and thank you for showing up for your learning. Today we're going to be looking at solving quadratics by factoring. So let's dig into some of these problems. Oh man, it's not even equal to zero. What a pain. Well, you're going to start with the same step you always do. Copy it out carefully. X squared plus 9x is equal to 3x. And you might say to yourself, well, I really wish that everything was on one side of the equal sign and that it was equal to zero. This is your first strategy, is to make it equal to zero. And in this case, we're going to do some inverse operations. We're going to subtract 3x from both sides. And mission accomplished. We now have x squared plus 6x is equal to zero. Well, we can factor this expression. And that's the name of the game, is solving quadratics by factoring. So let's go. That can factor by common factoring. X is the common factor, and it would multiply x plus 6. If that's confusing, take a look at the video on common factoring and the common factoring from Delta Math. All of this is equal to 0. Okay? Now imagine a world in which briefcases exist and briefcases may or may not have cash in them. This number might represent the number of briefcases in your possession, and this number might represent the amount of cash per briefcase. If you have a non-zero, if you have $0, then we know one of two things must be true. You either have zero briefcases, or if you have some non-zero number of briefcases, there must be $0 in each briefcase. Otherwise, you would have a non-zero amount of money. This is an analogy to explain why, if you're multiplying two things, x times x plus 6, and they're equaling 0, one of them must be 0. So either x equals 0, that's one factor, or x plus 6 equals 0. This is already an answer. This is not yet an answer. We need to subtract 6 from both sides. Then we have isolated x. We have x is equal to negative 6. That's an answer. So x can be, in this case, negative 6, comma, or 0. And just separate your answers with a comma, and that will give it to Delta Math in the way it wants. Pat yourself on the back when you get it right and take a new problem. Hooray! Let's take a look at this one. Okay, so get some paper. Copy it out. X squared plus 7x minus 10 equals negative 2x. Oh, darn, they did it again. It's not all the same. Well, let's add 2x to both sides, because I see I have negative 2x's over there. So if I add 2x, that would be now 0. And now flip back to my not inverse operations pen. X squared plus 9x. Oh, that will now factor. It would have factored before, too. Wait, no, it wouldn't have. Yes, it would have. Multiplying to minus 10 equals, no, it wouldn't have. Anyway, equals 0 now. Great. So now we can solve this by factoring. And in this case, we're factoring a trinomial. We want numbers that multiply to negative 10 and add to 9. Those numbers are positive 10 and negative 1. So our hunt is concluded, and we can now say that x plus 10 multiplied by x minus 1 is equal to 0. So now we get two mini equations. Those mini equations are, well, maybe x plus 10 is equal to 0, in which case x would be negative 10. That's one of our solutions. Or x minus 1 is equal to 0, in which case x is equal to 1. Okay, we just use inverse operations in both cases to get both answers. Great. All right, let's do another one. Okay, so this one, we're going to add 1 to both sides, and we're going to get x squared minus 7x is equal to 0. So x could be 0, or x could be 7. How did I know that? Well, I added 1 to both sides, like I said. I got this one. I factored it into this, and I saw that x is 0 and x is 7 were my two solutions. So you can do the same thing. If you can do these in your head, that's fantastic, and you could just rail off a bunch of these problems really quickly. Let's look for one where we have a trinomial to factor, and wait. Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, so let's do this one. And let's say this one gives us some trouble. And I'll show you what to do if you can't win your X game immediately just by looking at it. Okay, first copy it out straight up. Carefully notice that I have not made any errors. Okay, and then we subtract 2x from both sides. Forgive me for not using a different color. Please forgive me. X squared minus 4x minus 45 is equal to 0. Now we're hunting. We're going to factor. We want numbers that multiply to negative 45 and add to negative 4. And let's say we don't immediately spot them. This is what you do. Factor tree the top number. So we have minus 45. I'll move my face out of the way. We don't need that. All right, put me over there. All right, minus 45. So I see, well, I could divide out a negative 1, and that would give me positive 45. Okay. I see that it's not divisible by 2, but it is divisible by 3 because 4 plus 5 is 3. Sorry, is 9. So 9 is divisible by 3. That's our divisibility test by 3 is, do the digits add to a number that's divisible by 3? If they do, then that number is divisible by 3. 3 and 9. So, sorry, not 3 and 9. Geez, 3 and 15. You divide 45 by 3, you get 15. 15 is also divisible by 3, and we get 5. Okay? So, now we need to play around with these factors and multiply them together into two numbers that will add to minus 4. So let's try negative 1 times all of it. So negative 1 plus 45, those would indeed multiply to negative 45, but they add to 44. Very much not minus 4. So let's try a much bigger negative number. Let's do 3 times 5. Okay, so minus 15. Okay, we'll try minus 15, and then the rest is just 3. So minus 15 plus 3. Minus 15 times 3 would be minus 45, but add them together, it's minus 12. Ah, that's too big. The difference between the two factors was too large. I want a difference of 4. So let's try grouping these together into minus 9, and then that one into 5. Minus 9 plus 5 is indeed minus 4. So that's what goes into the brackets here is x minus 9. So that gives a solution of x is equal to 9. I flip the sign. And x plus 4. So x is also minus 4 equals 0. How do I know x is 9? Well, maybe x minus 9 is the one that's making this 0. So that would be add 9 to both sides. And x is equal to 9. All right, so that's one of my solutions, definitely 9. And the other one was minus 5. Made a mistake over here. I put the wrong number in. I should have put in plus 5. Some of you are like, wait, I'm confused now. I'm confused. What is this guy talking about? Well, let me show you what I was talking about. I make mistakes too, but I find them. Okay, so there we go. Plus 5. So maybe x plus 5 is 0. If x plus 5 equals 0, then let's subtract 5 from both sides. X equals negative 5. All right, so there we go. Submit that answer. Yes. Oh, the internet gave up. Oh, my internet's been doing this. Anyway, I'm sure if I refresh this and put in here for you, just to see, so you can see me pat my back. X equal to 9, comma, minus 5. An answer, yes. Hooray! And any questions, make a comment on the video or send me an email, and I will respond. Email's the fastest. Bye now, everyone. Thanks for showing up for your learning.